Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Weeknights. I am JD, aka He Who Pods, aka Rearview Mirror, glasses on, ring light here, all the above. Let's get it.
And I'm Dash, aka Dashing D, aka the real king of R&B, aka cool grandma, but not really, aka hot like fire.
Like, as in, who's the best rapper of all time? Dylon, and Dylon Hot Fire?
No, like hot like fire.
Got it.
Take you higher.
Got it.
Like that.
Speaking of higher, let's get straight to it.
Okay. Let's do it.
Highest to lowest. Spike Lee, Denzel Washington, ASAP Rocky, a film.
A Spike Lee joint.
A Spike Lee joint. We saw it.
Yep.
You want to start? Or you
No,
want me to start? You don't want to
I
start.
want you to start.
All right. That's fine. I got no problems starting.
Turning you up in my headphones.
Turn me up. Turn me up. Turn me up. Hey, turn me up in the headphones. Turn me up in the headphones. All right. Highest to lowest was probably the worst Spike Lee movie I've ever seen. I'm going to just straight up be honest here. I don't know why they loved it at the Cannes Film Festival. I don't know why they said ASAP Rocky matched Denzel Washington's energy, and I don't know why my ring light keeps falling. This is ridiculous. They said ASAP Rocky's energy or acting skills matched Denzel's. They lied. We were lied to for this film, and now I know why they released the trailer like 10 days before this movie came out. I don't think it was an accident anymore. I think it was on purpose, and I think I was right. I think that they were so confident about this film, about Denzel and Spike Lee getting back together, that they felt like, it's going to sell itself. It's fine. And we said that. We said that that was possible, and I doubled down on that. I think that's right. I think that's correct. And to the guy who was in our Instagram comments, I would love to see your review of this movie because you seemed very excited about the fact that trailers trailers drop when they drop, and this movie is cool, and that's nice. I would love to see your review because this movie was not good. Now, I will say the cinematography was awesome. Lots of cool cinematography. The one thing I did not like about cinematography was they could not decide on which cameras they wanted to use. They couldn't decide if they wanted to use 4K cameras or GoPros or some old school effects. It was weird. Once Denzel went on the move, I don't know what they were doing. It was like, we're going to try a little bit of everything and see what works. It was weird. But besides that, the movie was beautifully shot. But this was not a good film. And I'm going to tell you something else. Instead of choosing ASAP Rocky for that role, they should have chose Joey Badass. Because Joey Badass can actually act and would have done a better job at this role. Not that ASAP Rocky was terrible. That actually was not the worst part of this film. ASAP Rocky did do a decent job. But Joey Badass would have done a better job. Joey Badass can actually act and probably would have gave y'all more critiques about this film to make it a better film. This ring light is rebellious, and I don't know what's going on.
So you feel that ASAP Rocky wasn't
super light skin.
That's okay.
Because the light is right on my face. ASAP Rocky was not the worst part of this film, no.
He was not the worst part of the film, but you felt like his role should have been cast differently.
I think if you had a veteran actor in there who could also play this type of role, i.e. Joey Badass, you would have had a better film and something that felt more natural and fluent. And we wouldn't have got a makeshift music video in the courthouse towards the end of the film. I think Joey Badass would have saw that in the script and been like, hey, maybe take this part out. Bless you. You're welcome.
I don't know if Spike Lee would have given Joey Badass that type of control. I don't know if I believe
it's okay. That. I'm just throwing stuff out there. These are my thoughts. And the last thing I'll say before I turn it over to you is I don't ever want to see Denzel and Spike Lee together again.
Nah, don't say that.
No, I don't. I can say what I want to say. You can say what you want to say. Just
Yeah, but
like the
I'm
people
telling
in
you
the
not to
comments.
say it.
Yeah, but I'm not going to listen to you or the people in the comments. I don't want to see them together again, and here's why.
Mhm.
They gave us the classic, the Malcolm X film. Great film, a classic. And that gave us the expectation that this
Mhm.
film would be along the same lines. I'm
Mhm.
scared for whatever happens next. So I personally do not want to see them together again because I don't know what the hell's going to happen the third time. And I'm nervous. Oh, one last thing. PS. Who the hell chose the music for this film? This was one of the worst scores of all Spike Lee's movies, in my opinions. And let me just say one thing because I know this is gonna get clipped up, and I know the people in the comments are gonna be like, "Oh, you're a hater, and you don't know film, and you don't like Spike Lee, and how could you say that about Denzel?" Listen, part of being someone who critiques things is being honest. Whoa, you ever heard of this thing called honesty? Wow, you mean not groupthink? Wow, are you crazy? You have to be crazy. Yes, I'm crazy. And let me tell you what else is crazy. I am a huge Denzel fan. And I am a Spike Lee fan. That doesn't mean that I don't use my brain and my eyes when I watch stuff. So if y'all don't like it, you can kiss my ass and watch a different podcast.
Can
You
I
can
ask
go.
you a question?
Yes.
Were you just channeling Cosby?
No.
Okay,
But
it
if that's what happened, then that's fine too.
kind of sounded like that. So
Now I want to play the Cosby.
I didn't, I didn't. It wasn't. How do I say this? Because I too want to be honest. I did not find as many flaws in it as you did, but I also did not. I did not like the film as a full body of work. I did not like the film. I just felt like okay. The two things that will always get me, and I say this all the time, is the cinematography. Well, maybe three things: the cinematography, the music, and the plot. So I like a well written story. You know,
Which this was not.
I just feel like there was a lot of disjointed moments in in the film um, that made it weird. I also think if ASAP Rocky was such a focal point of the film, then he should have been there more. I honestly feel like by the time we got introduced to him, I kind of forgot that he was even like what truly got introduced to him, right? Because he's kind of he's a part of the film from the beginning. Once you see it, you understand what that means. But as far as him being on screen or him really having lines, it's very late in the movie. And to me that just said to me that anyone could have played that role. You didn't really need a-
But that's why they
anybody
got
of
ASAP Rocky.
right. You could have had anybody of any caliber really do what he did. I'm not saying that it doesn't take hard work or talent to do what he did. I'm not trying to diminish what he did do, but I just feel like the way he's woven into the story, it really could have been anybody. Um,
I think it was anybody.
Perhaps. Um, I don't know that for sure, so but
I think
perhaps
he was to anybody.
I can see that.
But go ahead.
I see what you mean. So there was that. I just felt like y'all really tried to hammer home that this was Denzel and ASAP, and then it really was Denzel and a little bit of ASAP. It was more Denzel and Jeffrey Wright, if you ask me, which is totally
Right.
fine by me because I love Jeffrey Wright, so I didn't have a problem with him being there. I was very confused watching the film, and I don't know if that was the intention, but I was like, wait, is Jeffrey Wright's character actually shady? Like, what is going on? They try to make us think that, but I was
For
very
like 10
confused.
seconds.
There was a lot, yeah, there was a lot going on just in them trying to figure out the whole kidnapping situation. I'm just gonna say it. The movie's been out. Trying to figure out the kidnapping situation, it just was like it was weird. It was I don't know. It felt like a lot of pieces of it were like disjointed. That's the best way that I could describe it. So I didn't love that. I didn't feel like it was storied well. And that's
Yeah,
probably my biggest problem with the film.
yeah.
The acting was fine. But the woman who played Denzel's wife, I mean, I'm
Who
not
was
familiar
that?
with her. I'm not familiar with her. I'm also not out here trying to Google her to see what other films she was in because I don't have
I
an
did not
interest.
recognize her either.
She looks kind of familiar, but I don't know if that's just because she has a certain look. It could be that.
They definitely gonna be in the comments like, "How y'all don't know her? She's in this and that and
I
this
don't
and
know
that."
every single person on the planet, and I don't know every single actor on the planet, and I never said I did. So y'all can keep that.
Oh, they
But
definitely gonna do it.
the music, it was very Spike Lee. Okay, so this is why I say I didn't hate the film because the film is very much a Spike Lee joint when it comes to the music, when it comes to the cinematography, which I'll get to, the use of imagery, the colors, the sounds of New York, and the music that he's playing, which a lot of times the music is an homage to Black culture in some way. Um, and if you
And
really
that remains.
yeah, and if you really pay attention to even just like I said, the imagery that is like within when they're sitting in a room, like let's say they're sitting in their living room, if you're looking around the room as you're taking in the story, you'll notice the attention to detail that they take to make sure that Spike Lee's films are filmed a certain way but also staged a certain way. So
Mhm.
the camera work that brings me to the camera work. Camera work didn't bother me because it just felt very Spike Lee film. Like I think you could name just about any Spike Lee film that does exactly what this film did in terms of the way it was shot. I really just didn't care for the story. I didn't. I honestly thought the story was something else. I don't know where I missed it, but based on the trailers, what actually happened in the film was not what I thought was going to happen. I also just didn't it just wasn't good. Like it didn't it was an interesting story, right? It was an interesting thing that happened that is kind of this catalyst to everything how everything goes down in the film. But the way they moved the story forward, I didn't care for it. I
I
did
didn't
not
think
care
it was
for
a.
it at all.
I feel like we all saw Man on Fire. And it was like, we're gonna remake Man on Fire, but instead of Denzel being the bodyguard, he's gonna be the main character. And he's gonna be a rich music mogul who's not really rich. Ooh.
Right.
I was
Listen,
like,
like
this
I
is I was like, this is Man on Fire, but the remix. And the only thing that was the remix was, we're gonna put black art in front of your face and talk a lot about basketball. And I was like, I guess, like, okay.
Right, and there's a lot of basketball, which I don't know how I could miss that, but yeah, there's a lot of
And I
basketball.
don't want Denzel to act like a nigga from the hood ever again. Like being Equalizer and being this trained, great uh, tactician and marksman, fine. But the nigga from the Bronx who is fighting niggas on the train in between the cars, nah, Denzel. I don't want to see that. And Denzel spitting Nas bars while ASAP Rocky is cursing him out. Like, nah, nah.
Well, so here's another thing that I thought about, and I watched a clip of there's a writer that I love from he's worked with the New York Times for a long time, and he's also had like different iterations of the podcast he does. I actually forget the name of it right now, but I saw a clip from his episode of his podcast where he talks about highest to lowest. His name is Wesley Morris. And Wesley actually, and I probably should have watched this before we talked about it, but Wesley actually points out how absurd the film was, but he also points out the fact that the absurdity was intentional. And
Sure.
I think to some degree it was intentional. I think Spike Lee very much knew what he was doing. And I don't think it was ever supposed to land for everyone. Right? I think this was one of those things.
Go ahead.
I think this was one of those things where we're not all gonna get it. I didn't get it. I felt like it was a little too ridiculous for me. Like I said, I couldn't follow the story. I don't feel like it was easy to follow the story well because things were just so disjointed, and you were like your mind was in one place and they were already gone off to another place, and certain things just never really got resolved. But I appreciated the elements about it that have always made me love Spike Lee as a filmmaker. So, like I said, the cinematography. I think the choice of music was. I don't even think the music was bad. I just don't think the music really fit certain themes. Like
But that's
when they come out of the studio when they come out of the studio and they're running, I can't even remember what was playing. All I know is I remember saying out loud, "Why is this the track behind them running and like chasing each other?" And it just was
but that's what
it
I
was
mean
just
by it was bad. That
yeah,
is
no, I
exactly what I
understand.
mean. Like, not that they chose bad songs, but that the way this film was scored is bad. Like, even the opening scene, which is an entire song
Too
playing
long.
while we're watching credits, it's not even a scene that gets you excited about the movie. A song that gets you excited about the movie. It's like, all right, you chose some super old school shit that you feel is fly, and that's cool. But you're gonna make me listen to this whole song while nothing is happening, just B-roll footage and credits? Then put something on that's exciting, that gets us ready for the film. Not that makes me feel like, hey, should I leave the theater right now? Should I be watching this?
Well, the intro was entirely too long. The music didn't bother me. The music in the intro didn't bother me because again, I feel like it's typical Spike Lee. It didn't. I feel like it's. I guess I'm used to it, I should say. Like it just it didn't surprise me in any way. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean that's kind of what I expect. I just thought it was too long. And it was a lot of B-roll. It wasn't like it takes us forever to get to a scene that's actually the people in the film. And I
10
get
minutes
it.
of nothing.
Yeah, a
First
lot
10
of
minutes.
it was long. A lot of things start off where you're like seeing the cityscape, or you're seeing like they're setting the scene, right? They're showing you where this is taking place. They're giving you some sort of context. Um, it's obviously the view and the vantage point of the city is also important because you would later find out that Denzel's character and his wife live in this high rise that's overlooking the city. You know, like so I it's like I get it, but I also didn't enjoy it.
Yeah, same.
So so I don't know. This was complicated for me because again, there are things that I liked about it, but there were I think the most important things missed. And I think that's where I struggled. I was like, okay, well, I could give you hella points for great cinematography, but if I can't follow the story or I think something's wrong with the story, then does it even matter that the cinematography was great?
No.
So that's my struggle with it. I know a lot of people will probably, like you said, come into our comments and say things like, oh, well, you don't understand, or maybe you're not old enough, or whatever. We are old enough, just so we're clear. Also, I've seen every single Spike Lee film there is. I
Right.
don't. he's someone that
And probably every Denzel film there is.
and probably every Denzel film there is, I hold I hold them to a very high regard, um, which is probably why I'm giving more grace than maybe I would give to someone else. But and I understand my bias, but yeah, it was a miss for me. It's not something. There are so many Spike Lee films that I would go back to in a heartbeat, just very easily, without
Right.
question. This is not one of them. I think this wanted to
I'm
be
never watching that
something.
again.
I think this wanted to be something that it didn't become, and I am glad that people watched it. I'm glad that people went out to the theaters, and because Spike Lee is still very talented, and I want that for him. I want that for Denzel. I want them to make films that people want to see, but it could have been a lot better. It could have been.
I'm very glad that I watched this in the comfort of my own home and not in the theaters, because I probably would have walked out mid movie.
That's how bad you thought it was. Bad enough for you to walk out in the middle of the movie. You didn't even walk out. What was the movie you
Yes.
told us about recently? You didn't walk out of that one. Which movie was
I don't
that?
know, but I probably would have walked out because this dragged. This was both boring and not well written at the same time. Like, at least be one or the other. Like, at least if you're gonna make a not good movie, make it an hour and 28 minutes. Like, make it quick. So we
Yeah,
could say, man, that was bad, but at least it was fast. No, this was not fast.
it was pretty long. But I think
Bye.
films these days are that long because films these days are that long. So you're rarely finding filmmakers say, okay, let's cut it down. They're not really doing that because everybody's already watching the 2 hour movies. But I mean, good luck to
Suppose.
everyone on their future endeavors.
Sure. Uh, where you want to go next?
Let's talk about the clip since that's happening tomorrow.
So the Clipse, via Pharrell, of course,
Of
are doing
course.
something really interesting, I guess is the way to word this. The Clipse are performing at the Vatican. It says here on a Pharrell post,
Hmm.
grateful for the opportunity to co-direct the first ever concert in St. Peter's Square alongside Maestro, and then he tagged uh, Andrea Boccacelli.
Bocelli.
Um, yep, Boccacelli, yep. It says, join us September 13th at 8 p.m. CEST as a part of the Vatican Jubilee celebrations. The event is free to attend and welcome to all, and will also broadcast live on Disney Plus, Hulu, and ABC News Live. Together, let's reflect through music to spread the message of unity and grace for all humanity. And so it says it is Boccacelli, Pharrell,
You mean Bocelli?
Eclipse, sure, Bocelli. It says with voices of fire, Jennifer Hudson, John Legend, Karol G, Bam Bam, and more. And part of more is Clipse.
Oh, so this is a bunch of people performing at the Vatican. Is that what it is?
Yep.
Oh, I thought it was like their show. I mean, good for them. I'm not,
Um,
but I thought it was just them. Interesting.
this says it also features performances from Pharrell, Karol G, Jelly Roll, Teddy Swims, Jennifer Hudson, John Legend, and more.
Okay. Them next to that bunch is really interesting to me.
Because when your homie is in charge, that's
That
all
really
that
decides, yeah.
matters.
That's really all that. That's what
That's
this
all
sounds
that
like.
matters.
This very much
Pharrell is
sounds
the
like the right place at the
co-director,
right
and
time.
Pharrell,
Put
right,
them on.
exactly. If Pharrell is right, Pharrell is a real nigga. He's like, hey, listen, am I involved in this? Okay, great. Then so are they.
And
Those are
listen,
my homies.
mm-hmm. And there's no
Please.
knock to their talent. You know, they're great. But this just doesn't seem like something they would be doing
Right.
on a normal day. I think it's pretty fly that they do get to do something like this. Listen, I respect Pharrell a lot for him trying to make sure everybody's eating. I'm never gonna be mad. I'm never gonna be mad at you putting your people on. I just think that that's how you keep the world moving. So good
Yeah.
for them. Good for them. I will check it out. I hope there's playback, and I hope it's not just a live thing that you can't watch later, because I would love to watch it.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. But it will be streaming live for those of you who can't make it to the Vatican. I know I won't be at the Vatican, so
Unfortunately, I can't make it to the Vatican tomorrow, but I mean, it's already tomorrow at the Vatican, to be honest. Um, so yeah, already late for the flight. Not gonna make it, but I'll check it out. I know.
yeah. Well, this is exciting, and I think it's cool that this is happening at all. And
Yeah.
once again, I applaud Pharrell for bringing the homies to the show because Pharrell is like, whether it's Louis Vuitton or a recording session or the Vatican, my niggas is coming with us.
So Pharrell is the real Louis Vuitton Don.
Yes.
Clip that and send it to Kanye. Bye.
See y'all on Monday.
Bye.